Life, you know, sometimes it's like a mirror. You offer a smile, you get a smile back. You give kindness, you receive kindness. That's what we usually expect. But then, there are times when people treat you with indifference, with harsh words, or even with cold thoughtlessness. And in that moment, a persistent question surfaces in your mind. Is it my fault? Did I do something wrong? That feeling, I understand, is incredibly heavy. It's like a stone pressing on your chest, making you question yourself, blame yourself, and gradually feel insecure. It pushes you into a corner of hurt and exhaustion. But dear friend, pause for a moment, just slowly, and let's look deeper into this worry together. Because there's an important truth I want you to remember. How others treat you poorly is not your fault. The burden of imposed guilt. Have you ever found yourself constantly replaying a situation, someone's words, trying to figure out what you did to deserve it? Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I disappointed them. This spiral of self-blame just carries you away, leaving you exhausted. This is exactly imposed guilt. It's not your actual responsibility, but a negative emotion born from someone else's behavior, and you unintentionally carry it. Like a dark cloud, it covers your soul, blocking out the sunshine of peace. You believe that if you were more perfect, kinder, or more lovable, others would never treat you badly. And so, you try even harder to change yourself, to please everyone, only to end up with more disappointment and exhaustion. Think about a child. When a child is scolded without reason or treated unfairly, their first instinct is often to ask, "What did I do wrong?" They don't yet have enough life experience to realize that sometimes the fault isn't theirs, but rather stems from an adult's stress, impatience, or personal issues. We, as adults, sometimes carry that same instinctive reaction. We assume that all negativity from others is our fault, because accepting that we are not to blame can sometimes be harder than accepting blame. At least then, we feel like we have some control. Your responsibility and others' behavior. Two parallel lines. To clarify this, we need to distinguish between your responsibility and others' behavior. Your responsibility. Your responsibility is to live authentically, to live ethically, kindly, and to know how to protect yourself. Your responsibility is to give your best effort in your work, in your relationships, and to learn from your mistakes. It's about taking ownership of what belongs to you. Your emotions, thoughts, actions, and your own reactions. Others' behavior, especially negative behavior, often stems from their own issues. Insecurity, fear, past hurts, immaturity, or simply them having a bad day. These things are entirely beyond your control. Imagine you're walking down the street and a stranger suddenly yells at you for no clear reason. Do you feel that's your fault? Certainly not. You'd think that person has some kind of problem. So why is it that when family, friends, or colleagues treat you badly, you easily take the blame upon yourself? The truth is, how others treat you often says more about them than it does about you. A critical person is often deeply insecure. A manipulative person is often afraid of losing control. A grumpy person is often experiencing stress. Their negative behaviors are a mirror reflecting their own inner state, not an indictment of your worth. You are not responsible for enduring others' disrespect, just as you are not to blame for their choice to act that way. When you unintentionally allow disrespect Although others' negative behavior is not your fault, how you react to it is your responsibility. Sometimes, we unintentionally allow disrespect to continue by staying silent and enduring. When you don't speak up to protect yourself, when you don't set boundaries, you're implicitly sending the message that this is acceptable. Others will continue that behavior because they're not receiving any signal that you're feeling hurt. Trying to explain or justify too much. When you try to explain your actions or justify yourself in the face of unreasonable criticism, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. You're placing your worth on their approval, and that makes them feel more powerful than you. Seeking approval. You constantly try to please others, changing yourself to fit their desires, just to get a nod of approval or a compliment. This teaches them that you're easily manipulated by approval, and they will use it to control you. Not believing in your own worth. This is the root of many issues. If you don't believe you deserve respect, you'll easily accept any treatment, no matter how poor. This lack of self-confidence is a hole that others can exploit. Imagine a fence. If you don't build a fence, or if the fence is dilapidated, people will easily walk into your garden without realizing they're invading your private space. Self-respect and boundaries are that fence. Cultivating self-respect, the key to changing how others treat you. So, how can we free ourselves from the invisible burden of self-blame and imposed guilt? Identify and release responsibility that isn't yours. The first step is clear awareness. Others' behavior is about them, not about you. When someone acts rudely, instead of asking, "What did I do wrong?" change the question to, "What's going on with them that they're acting this way?" This helps you detach from their emotions and place responsibility where it truly belongs. You have the right to choose not to carry others' negative emotions. Focus on your own reactions. While you can't control others' behavior, you have full control over how you react. You have the right to choose not to accept disrespect. You have the right to walk away, to speak up, to set boundaries. Remember, silence is not always golden. Sometimes, it's unspoken acceptance. Learn to react calmly, clearly, and firmly when you feel disrespected. Build strong self-respect from within. This is the foundation. Take time to understand yourself. Accept your strengths and weaknesses. Focus on what you love about yourself, on the successes you achieve, no matter how small. Practice self-care. Get enough sleep, eat healthy, exercise, and dedicate quiet moments to yourself. When you are confident in your worth, you will automatically radiate a powerful energy that attracts respect from others. You won't need external validation to feel worthy. Set healthy boundaries. Boundaries are the shield that protects your soul. Clearly define what you accept and don't accept in relationships. Communicate these boundaries clearly. For example, "I won't discuss this when you're raising your voice," or "I won't work after hours on weekends." It might be difficult at first, and some people might not like it, but those who genuinely care will respect your choices. This will help filter out toxic relationships and keep those who truly value you. Seek support. If you find it too difficult to face this alone, don't hesitate to seek help from close friends, family, or a therapist. Sharing your feelings can help you see the problem more clearly and receive helpful advice. You don't have to carry everything by yourself. A lighter life when you put responsibility in its right place. You know, when you truly understand and accept that how others treat you poorly is not your fault. A huge burden will be lifted. You'll no longer spend your precious energy blaming yourself, trying to fix things that aren't yours to fix. Instead, you'll be able to focus on what you can control, how you love yourself, how you set boundaries, and how you build a life where you are respected. This doesn't mean you become cold or emotionless. On the contrary, it means you're learning to love more wisely, both yourself and others. When you no longer carry the burden of blame that doesn't belong to you, you'll find your soul feeling lighter, your spirit refreshed. You'll have more energy to pursue your passions, to nurture healthy relationships, and to enjoy every moment of life. You are not responsible for others' disrespectful behavior. Your only responsibility is to protect yourself and live true to your values. And when you do that, you'll see your life change in miraculous ways. If you're reading these words and your heart feels a gentle stirring, perhaps it's time for you to pause for a moment. Breathe deeply, close your eyes, and whisper to yourself, "How they treat me poorly is not my fault. I deserve respect." Start today by letting go of the burden that isn't yours. Give yourself the kindness, compassion, and respect you always deserve. You are much stronger than you think. Believe in yourself. And remember, every small step on this journey is a great victory of your own.